Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive with me, Meghna Rekha. Lots lined up for you in this bulletin. But remember, this is India's big G20 moment. As the president of the G20 forum, India is all set to host the Tourism Working Group meeting in Srinagar, which is being billed as one of the largest international events to be organized since the abrogation of Article 370. But India's growing stature in the New World Order appears to irk some, more specifically our noisy neighbors next door. Well, Pakistan is now reeling under a financial crisis. Its former Prime Minister claims that there's a threat to his life, but they can still continue to needle India. Well, ahead of the G20 meeting in Srinagar, Pakistan has now released a notification to all their foreign offices across the world, where they have clearly mentioned an objective to scuttle the G20 meeting in Srinagar. This notification urges all Pakistani missions to harp on Atiq Ahmed's killing and the topics of fascism and Hindutva. In fact, they have also issued some detailed punchlines and hashtags that have to be promoted to malign India's image, even as the country is fully prepared to host one of the biggest events in Kashmir since the abrogation. But before I take you through this toolkit in a detailed manner, let's tell you how India has been preparing for the big day. Here's a report from the ground.
अगले हफ्ते जम्मू कश्मीर में G20 की बैठक होगी। बैठक SKICC में होगी और SKICC चूंकि चारों तरफ से झील डल से घेरा हुआ है और झील डल की सिक्योरिटी अब मैरीन कमांडोज के हाथ देगी है। और इस वक्त आप तस्वीरों के जरिए देख सकते हैं मैरीन कमांडोज यानी मार्कोज का एक जो बोट है वो यहाँ पे लगातार पेट्रोलिंग और एरिया डोमिनेशन एक्सरसाइज जो झील डल के अंदर होनी है वो कर रहे हैं। ये मैरीन मार्कोज का एक जत्था है जो इस वक्त आप बोट में अपनी स्क्रीनों पर देख रहे हैं। मेरे सहयोगी शफीक आपको तस्वीरों में दिखा रहे हैं। ये पेट्रोलिंग लगातार अब जारी है और इस SKICC चूंकि चारों तरफ से लगभग घेरा हुआ है झील डल से और झील डल के अंदर ये लगातार इस तरह की एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं। और सिक्योरिटी के एंगल से देखेंगे तो काफी महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है कि जब मार्कोस को इस तरह से डिप्लॉय किया जा रहा है। इसके साथ साथ हमने देखा अभी थोड़ी देर पहले NSG की टीम भी श्रीनगर पहुंच चुकी है और लालचौक के इलाके का उन्होंने इसी तरह से जायजा लिया। और यहाँ झील डल में NSG की टीम जो है वो लगातार इस तरह से पेट्रोलिंग कर रही है। ये तमाम जो डल लेक का एरिया है इसमें इस तरह की जो एक्सरसाइज है वो NSG कर रही है। 22 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर पर झील डल फैला हुआ है और इस तरह से जो वेन्यू है वेन्यू के साथ झील डल के साथ वेन्यू सटका हुआ है और इसकी वजह से इसको सिक्योर करना काफी महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है। फिलहाल झील डल की सिक्योरिटी जो है वो मार्कोस को दे रखी है यानी मैरीन कमांडोज यहाँ पे डिप्लॉय किए गए हैं।
So let's tell you a bit about Pakistan's Malign India Toolkit. This is exactly what the Pakistan Foreign Office notification says. I'm going to read it out for you. It says that CAA, NRC are meant to dehumanize minorities. It also had suggested its mission to push the propaganda, and it has gone on to say that only Hindutva mongers are now safe. India has become a home for Hindu extremists only. It is also saying that only Hindutva mongers are safe in India. This is the kind of lies that are now being propagated by Pakistani missions. In fact, it also goes on to say that Muslims and minorities have been harassed and lynched in India. These are the kind of lies that now get propagated. It goes on to say that the laws have been bypassed contrary to the basic human rights. And remember, this is Pakistan, and the irony of it all is that this is Pakistan which has been preaching to India about human rights when there is absolute chaos which is reigning the streets, with their own Prime Minister, the own former Prime Minister coming out and saying my own rights, fundamental rights have been violated. But Pakistani Toolkit also has called for Atiq Ahmed's killing to be glorified and to be put out very prominently, calling it a murder of a Muslim lawmaker rather than the gangster that he has over a dozen cases on him. So let me go across to Rohit. Rohit, it's very disturbing to see the way that these kind of lies were being pushed up and propped up by Pakistan through its own diplomatic missions against India.
Well, yes, Meghna, in fact, this toolkit is in a way already in motion, and this toolkit has been sent to, this notification has basically been sent to their foreign offices across the world. But let me tell you about how it has been already in operation in Pakistan. These are some newspaper articles where Pakistan over here, they go on to say in IIOJK wears a look of a living hell ahead of G20 event. Well, we are showing you the visuals of how India is fully prepared, in fact, to organize this event, one of the biggest events since the abrogation of Article 370. And while Srinagar is decked up and prepared and ready to host this event, here's some of the articles where Pakistan is trying to push lies to, in a way, malign India. It also goes on to say that UK has been urged to reject India's invitation to participate in G20 meet in IIOJK. Of course, this is what they call it. This is our territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which they call this way. Say no to G20 in occupied Kashmir. Digital advertising truck in Washington flashes messages. So these are some of the articles that Pakistan has been putting out to, in a way, kind of fearmonger over the situation in Kashmir, even though we all know what the situation really is right now. Pakistan to apprise international community about India's evil design of G20. This has been said by the advisor to the Prime Minister of Pakistan on Kashmir affairs. So these are some of the articles that are being peddled in the Pakistani media, in a sense, to malign India.
Well, thank you so much, Rohit, for that. Let me go across to our panelists. Joining us today on the show, Captain Alok Bansal, the Director of India Foundation, Kamar Chima, Strategic and Political Analyst, joining us live from Pakistan. Now, Kamar Chima, I'm going to come to you. This is one of the states where you are right now, the nation which has seen chaos, where you have your own Prime Minister who's coming out and saying that my fundamental rights are being violated. Today, isn't it ironical and rich that Pakistan is trying to preach to India when it is on the cusp of having one of the largest events ever since the abrogation?
Well, first of all, I think this is India's moral duty, that they should not hold such kind of conferences in Indian occupied Kashmir, knowing that the people of Indian occupied Kashmir are not enjoying the democratic rights. It is being controlled by the
It is in fact
So
being held in one of the parts, an integral part of India. Let me correct you to that. And it is part of the constitution. It is accepted by the entire world. Pakistan can, of course, continue to call it India occupied Kashmir. But the prosperity and the support of the people of Kashmir is what really makes India whole. But go ahead, Mr. Chima.
Okay, let me finish my thought. My thought is that the people of Kashmir are not having even a democratic right. They don't have even representative in their local assembly. So it is the center which is ruling the people of Kashmir.
So India should become like Pakistan?
They have a representation in parliament.
So
whereas,
let me finish my argument.
Should India become more like Pakistan, Mr. Chima?
The Kashmiris
Have former prime ministers jailed, thrown into bars, detained illegally, have violence on the streets, riots. There's a tank of the army commander being rolled out in Pakistan.
Narendra Modi.
Should that what India should now come?
General Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He is the general. He is the Prime Minister. So General Prime Minister Modi is ruling Indian occupied Kashmir. So I think this is India's job. India's job
Kamar
to
Chima,
respect the
are you
Kashmiris.
being,
Do not annoy them.
I'll ask you a serious question. Kamar Chima, are you being delusional out of jealousy? Is Pakistan being delusional out of jealousy of India?
Why to be jealous?
Pakistan
Why to be
occupied
jealous
Kashmir,
from
there is no
India
representation
where
in the
millions
parliament.
are poor? Why to be jealous of India where millions are living in poverty?
Because
So
we have
what are you
prosperity
talking
and you have
about? What is it
riots.
about
You have a
jealousy?
civilian uprising on your hand. Captain Alok Bansal, perhaps you can explain.
I can just
The
tell
irony
Mr.
of it
Chima
all
that,
when Pakistan preaches India.
I think
Captain
it is a case
Bansal.
of jealousy and intrigue, because at this point of time, Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves is less than what has been the weekly increase in Indian foreign exchange reserves last week. As far as India is concerned, our brethren living in Jammu and Kashmir are represented in parliament. They are represented in parliament right from 47. There have been elections, in fact, in Jammu and Kashmir periodically. Whereas in Pakistan's case, the territory which is illegally occupied by Pakistan, that is both Gilgit-Baltistan as well as...
Kamar Chima, I understand that you don't like hearing these facts. Please hear Captain Bansal out. I understand these facts are very hard for you to digest, very hard for you to accept. Please show the patience. If only your nation could show patience and had focused on prosperity and economic development instead of trying to bleed India, perhaps your nation wouldn't be in doldrums today. Kamar Chima, you find it hard. Is that why you are interrupting Captain Bansal? You can't accept what he's saying because you can't digest. It's not palatable to you.
You must respect the sentiments of the people. This is your moral duty not to hold such kind of conferences in occupied Kashmir. This is your moral duty. Do not allow the Kashmiris.
Captain Bansal.
They have a right. They should be respected.
Captain Bansal. Do you see the irony behind it all? There are civilians in Pakistan who have raised up. They are now going onto the streets rioting against the Pakistani administration.
There have been an administration,
General
there have
Modi,
been a local administration.
Prime Minister Modi must
in the Parliament of India.
run
But
Kashmir
Pakistan occupied
directly.
Kashmir has no
Kamar
representation.
Chima, don't force me to put your fader down.
General
Listen in to
Modi,
Captain
they should
Bansal.
not run it.
Kamar Chima, don't force me to put your fader down.
Pakistan.
Captain Bansal, quickly, if you can explain the irony of the situation.
I just wanted to tell Mr. Chima two things. When you are talking of occupied, the territory which is occupied by Pakistan, that is both Mirpur Muzaffarabad as well as Gilgit-Baltistan, does not have any representation in Pakistan's parliament. It has not got any place as far as constitution of Pakistan is concerned. That is an occupied territory. You can feel upset, you can feel intrigued because at this point of time Pakistan is going through a crisis. Because our total foreign exchange reserves held by State Bank of Pakistan is less than the weekly increase in foreign exchange reserves of India. See, last week India's foreign exchange reserves increased by $7 million, whereas Pakistan's entire foreign exchange reserves held by State Bank of Pakistan is less than around $4 billion.
All we can do here today, while Pakistan is pushing this online agenda against India to try and malign us, all India can do is we'll stand by the people of Pakistan who have to suffer this kind of army regime, these kind of failed states and successive governments who have failed the people, that today they have an uprising on their hand where this desperation is descending into complete turmoil on Pakistan.
Under army law.
But unfortunately, gentlemen, we are running out of time. Thank you for joining.